All right, everyone. Hello. It's 6:01, so I think it's time for us to begin. I am Kate Conway. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona this evening, and I'm so grateful to have all of you here with us tonight. Um, I will tell you a little bit about myself, but before I do, I will let you know that it would be so helpful to me if you would, as Cindy has, please turn on your cameras because it's just so hard to speak to an empty screen of a bunch of names looking at you. It's just a challenging thing to teach that way. So a little bit about me. As I said, I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona, where I've been a full-time realtor for the last 10 years. Prior to that, I was a school teacher and school administrator. I have two children, Logan and Lily. Logan's a sophomore in college and he's studying engineering, and my daughter Lily is a freshman in college. She's studying nursing. I have a small little team that I run here in Scottsdale. Just one other realtor and then my assistant, Mary Grace, who you'll see on the screen, who is works full time with me. And she is helping us this evening in moderating this experience for everyone. Just a few things. First of all, I do have a background in teaching and education. So we're going to make this fun. We're going to make it interactive this evening. It may be a little bit different than other classes you've taken. I hope it's just as good or better. So Mary Grace and I have been working on this for a while. And one thing we are going to do is we're going to have some quizzing throughout the evening. And you can respond in the chat when we have a trivia or a quiz. And there are prizes. So one of the prizes is going to be that the top prize, I will say, is that I will be offering 1 hour of my services to just talk to you about your business, your marketing, what you're doing so far, and try and offer any insight that I might have. And then I actually also have an art degree. So I also am offering a couple of pieces of original Arizona artwork for you. So there will be 3 prizes at the end for people who answer questions, interact with me, have their cameras on. So if you're that person, like Cindy is, like Rosa is, like David is, like Brian is, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It makes this job so much easier when I'm actually looking at you. A little bit more about me and my business. I started out in real estate, as I said, a little over 10 years ago. And the way I started my business was by knocking on every door in my neighborhood, and that's almost 1,000 doors every single month for a year, which if you know what it's like in Arizona right now, you know that that was not an easy task. It's 100 and somewhere between 105 and 115 degrees at this time of the year. And I did that every day. It took me somewhere between 2 and 4 hours every day. And then I would get home and I would write down all of the names that I had gathered during my door knocking in my database. And I would write thank you notes to every single one of them. And then I went back and I did it again the next month. And during that period of time, I did get 3 listings in my neighborhood, and one of them was a $1.2 million listing. So it's one way that you can start your business if you're brand new. There are obviously so many ways that you can start your business, and I support whatever feels right to you. For me, I did it that way because I was not confident. I'll just be really honest with you in asking for the business of the people I knew, because I was a school principal, and the people I knew were actually, they were the people who were at the private school in Scottsdale that I was a school principal at, which meant that they were if you were listening to the music when I got in, they were literally ballers. Like they were Major League Baseball players. They were NHL hockey players. They were NFL and NBA players. and top people in many different fields, including advertising and law. And I just didn't think they would trust me. And so it felt easier for me to go to literally random people and knock on their door than it did to call my own database. So if that's you, you still have an option to not call the people in your phone. So just want to give you that word of advice or experience as you begin this real estate career. So today is about winning with sellers. And one of the biggest things that you can do to win with sellers is to approach each interaction with a ton of confidence. And so this is not an easy thing, especially when you're just starting in your career and you don't know everything, or you may not feel confident in your skills as a realtor yet. But there are some things that you can do. So one thing that Grace and I did put together was a video actually for you to watch. It's a short video just on confidence. And we're going to get to that. But before we do, it's 6 o'clock Arizona time. And I think that's where it is everywhere, almost everywhere we're at. And that's actually a really good time to be making calls or to be getting in touch with people. And by the time it's 8 o'clock this evening, it's not going to be a great time to get in touch. So part of what I'm supposed to be doing with you this evening is actually encouraging you to reach out to your database. So one thing I would like to do is I would like to show you what I did to get in touch with 20 people in 10 minutes today. It was pretty easy, and I can show you the strategy. And I use this, let's see, I'm going to share my screen here for just a sec. Just a sec, let me pull up the thing here. Here it is. Okay. So, so this is something that I created on Canva today. You can go on a website which is called National Today. If you want to write that down in your notes, it's super useful. National Today will tell you all the bazillions of silly holidays that exist every single day of the year. All 365 days have 20 or 30 holidays, and you can just pick one that is relevant to you. So today I picked Happy National Peanut Butter Cookie Day. And I went on Canva, and you can either use free Canva. I pay for a professional Canva subscription, but the free one works just as well for a lot of things. And then I just add I added my branding to it. I added a QR code with a recipe for peanut butter cookies. And I just sent out a quick text to people I know saying, let's see, what did I say exactly in the text? I'll read you the text. In the text, I said, look forward, wait, I don't know. What did I say? Looking forward to seeing you soon. Until then, hope you enjoy this recipe. It was literally that quick, and I could copy and paste it. And I copied and pasted it into 20 people's texts. And I got probably 6 texts back. So fine. 20 people have heard from me today. I had a busy day, but at least I didn't totally blow off my connections with people. So what I am asking you to do right now is I'm going to give you 15 minutes until 6:25 to reach out to 10 to 20 people in your database, whether it be by phone or text, and then we'll get back together and talk about how that went. Cool? Give me a thumbs up in the chat, or yeah. Cool? All right, at 6:25, I'm reconnecting with y'all. I'm gonna put myself on mute for now so you guys can do your thing. Okay, time's up. Type in the chat how many people you got in contact with. And whoever got the most, be honest, don't lie to us now. You'll get a chance at the prizes. So yeah.
Can I share something?
Yes, please do.
I tried to text my friend and she told me her daughter is try to collecting money for swim team, and I gave no $10 to her daughter and make her very happy.
That is awesome. Solid connection. Way to go. That is
Yes.
really good. Now,
Yes.
here's
And
what you do.
I was a teacher too.
Ah,
And I
beautiful.
still work at the school part-time.
That is awesome. Okay, so can I make a suggestion? That is such an excellent contact that here's what you do. Make a reminder in your phone to reach out to that same person again in like 2 to 4 weeks and remind yourself to ask how her daughter's doing with swim club. Okay, because it's hard to remember these things. So, or you can make a task in command. If she's already in your command, you can create a task in command that reminds you to reach back out to her to follow up on that interaction, because that interaction is gold. Anyone else have one that they'd like to share? Remember, if you talk, you get opportunities to win the prize. No? Okay. I have a quick video that I'd like to show you because, as I said, we're talking about winning with sellers, and one of the biggest things with winning with sellers is having confidence. So this is a quick video on confidence that I would like to share with you. So just gonna put it on full. Oops, I think I actually have to. I'm gonna click on this link here. Yeah, there we go. On. Thanks for your patience. All right, you all should be able to see it now, I think.
Squarespace's creative tools.
Sorry, they're going to give us the little ad here.
Design a unique, engaging website.
In my past life as a soccer coach, once you win a national championship, everybody wants to come play for you. Really not true. Once you pay them $25,000 a year in scholarships, everybody wants to come play for you. And parents would always come to me and they'd say, okay, my son or my daughter wants to come play at your university. What is it that we have to do? What are you looking for? And being the Socratic professor that I am, well, what does your son or daughter do? What do they do really well that we'd be interested in? And typically their answers are, well, they've got great vision. They're really good. They can see the entire field. Or my daughter is the fastest player. There's nobody that can beat her. Or my son's got a great left footer, really, really great in the air and can hit every ball. I'm like, yeah, not bad. But to be quite honest with you, those are the last things I'm looking for. The most important thing, self-confidence. Without that skill, and I use the word skill intentionally, without that skill, we are useless as a soccer player. Because when you lose sight or belief in yourself, we're done for. I use the definition of self-confidence to be the ability or the belief.
Hold up. Can people see this, or is it freezing for you?
It's freezing for me.
Yes, it's freezing.
Freezing for me.
It's freezing, but
Okay,
we can
here's what I'm
hear
going
it.
to do. We're just
Yeah,
going to
we
not
can
do
hear it,
that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the chat for you.
Okay.
And you guys can watch it on your own. No worries. So, but what I can tell you is that the essence of this story, and I can kind of summarize it for you. But this guy is one of the top college soccer coaches in the country. He's a professor. And what he's talking about is recruiting college soccer players. And when he recruits college soccer players, he says that, all the parents come in and he asks them, what's your son or daughter good at? And all of the parents say, oh, well, my daughter is so fast, or my son has a great left foot. He can kick it into the corner of the net with the left foot, or amazing in the air, great headers in soccer. And he said that none of that matters to him ultimately as a coach, because he can teach all of those skills, but the one skill that he cannot teach to any of his players that they either have or don't have the ability to achieve is confidence. And then he goes on to speak about why confidence is so important. And that is because if you have no confidence in the key moments, you will fail. And then he goes on to speak about how do you get confidence. And his assessment is that the way that you gain confidence is by doing things over and over and over and over again in stressful situations. And when you do things over and over and over again in stressful situations, what happens is that in the moment, when you are in the most stressful situation, what you're trying to do is already a habit and it's easy to do. And so you won't choke. Okay. So today we're talking about listing presentations, and we're going to learn how to not choke and what you're going to need to do to succeed and practice this skill. Okay, so one thing I have to tell you is that I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties this evening, in the sense that when I put the entire PowerPoint presentation on my screen and screen share, my mouse freezes up for some reason. I can't figure it out. So I'm going to put it up, but it's not going to be full screen. So I hope that's not an issue for any of you, but you should be able to see it regardless. Okay. So here's our presentation. So I will tell you that I do put out an original newsletter every month for realtors. It's mid-month. It has a market update and some great information about how to stay relevant in your business, has marketing tips, and it also has personal care tips, because as a realtor, you have to take good care of yourself, and you're not going to feel confident if you're not in good shape, if you're not eating well, if you're not sleeping well. And in this realtor newsletter, I give tips on this. So if you want to scan this QR code right now, you can join our newsletter. Or if you just like, if scanning a QR code is like beyond your technical ability, no worries. You can also just put your name and email in the chat, and Mary Grace will be able to forward that on to me. Okay. So we've kind of like already gone through the, oh yes, so let's see. We were starting down here. Oh, good. Okay. So we started with our daily success system, like we did that. And I'm really proud of you, all of you, for whatever calls, emails, texts that you made during that period of time. What I can say is just don't give it up. This past fall, I actually, sadly had long COVID. So I was super sick from June until November, and I made very few calls. And I will tell you that in the months of January and February, which are the biggest, heaviest months for real estate in Arizona, my business was dead. And I made calls for 1 month, and the following month, I think I did 60 or 70 grand in business. Okay, so really all it takes is making those calls every single day. And it's the hardest thing to do in real estate, but just don't give up on your daily success systems is the advice that I can give to you there. Okay, my listings. Just so you know, I do have a few listings right now in Arizona. So the first one on the top left is a home for sale in McCormick Ranch, rather, which is a great little community, tons of parks, trails. If you have any interest in it, you can actually just put a note in the chat. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath home. It's listed at $925,000. The other one on the top right is a $1.25 million home. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath with a casita and a pool. It's in Arcadia Light. So just to let you know, I will also send these to you in the Realtor newsletter if you want to be part of that. But I love referral partners, and you all might know someone who might be interested in purchasing these homes. So I'm not going to miss this opportunity to market to you. So please also know that as a realtor, just never miss an opportunity to market. This is, there are a lot of people on this call, and this is an opportunity for me as well. So going to skip through the daily success system because we made it through that part of the deal already. And at this point, Grace has a little bit of trivia for you. So Grace is going to post some trivia in the chat, and you're welcome to respond to it. And whoever responds, as I said, has an opportunity to win a prize at the end. So the skill of self-confidence, as I said, unfortunately, that was didn't work out for us. But let's talk about, sorry, okay, today's agenda. So A sellers. A sellers are people who are able to purchase a home, meaning they have the funds to purchase it. They have a pre-qualification letter, or they have proof of funds. And proof of funds would be a letter from a bank stating that they have enough money to purchase a home. Or it would be a bank statement. When I get a bank statement from my client, I always ask them to please black out all of their account information, their numbers, before they send it to me. But that would be someone who is able to purchase a home. You also want someone who is willing to purchase a home, that they're not like waffling back and forth, like, would purchasing a home be a good idea, or would purchasing a home not be a good idea? I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do it now. Maybe I'll do it later. Not sure. And finally, you want someone who is ready. Again, so ready, willing, able. Ready. It's the backwards of that. I always say ready, willing, and able, but it's the backwards of that. It's able, willing, and then ready. Ready means that they're ready in the next like 4 to 8 weeks for me. I think Ignite might have a shorter time span, but I usually think 4 to 8 weeks is, I'll work with someone if they're ready to purchase in 4 to 8 weeks. So yeah, able, oh, they're saying next 14 days. I think, you know, generally speaking, in my experience, very few people move that fast. I think 4 to 8 weeks is a reasonable time frame. If someone's ready, then you can go ahead and start talking to them and have a meeting with them about listing their home. Because in 14 days, if they're ready in 14 days, they've probably already talked to 3 or 4 realtors. In my experience, in my market, anyway. You know, it may be different in your market. So the 3 L's of the millionaire real estate agent are listings, leverage, and leads. And why are listings so important? Does anyone want to respond to that in a chat? I'm curious what people have to say about that. Why are listings so important? Anyone? Bueller? Come on, y'all. Why are listings important? I'm looking for someone who wants a prize. You need homes for sale for buyers. That's a good one. Helps add inventory to your market, and it's the way we do business. Okay, good. It shows that you can do what you can do to market a property. Sure. Those are all. Allow you to compare property values. Yes. Anyone else have anything else? So those are all correct answers. Here are some more. So listings are so important because, first of all, you can take on a lot more listings than you can buyers. You can market probably almost an endless amount of properties at the same time, but you can only be in one car with one buyer at a time. Buyers take a lot more of your time as an agent than listings do. Also, if you're working with someone who's selling their home, they probably will be purchasing another home, because if they're moving, and even if it's not in your state, you can get a referral commission on that. So you're probably getting, if not double, at least your listing commission plus some when the seller sells their home and then buys another home. Also, when you have listings, you can do open houses, right? And market to buyers in that way. Also, you can put your home on Zillow, and buyers may reach out to you directly on the listing that you have through Zillow. And even if that's not the right home for them, you might end up working with that buyer and helping them to find a different home and getting another deal out of it. So basically, listings give you the most leverage in your business, and you get additional leads in your business when you work with sellers. So that's why sellers are so important in the real estate industry. And also you can showcase it on your social media. I love that. Excellent. Good job, Alice Harvey. Kiwi, sorry. I hope I said that right, Alice. That was an excellent answer. Okay, so trivia. Do you have a trivia thing for us, Grace? I'll wait for her. We'll keep going and maybe she'll get to that. Oh yeah, she has one. What type of mortgage has a fixed interest rate and is typically paid off over 30 years? Who has the answer? Ah, nice. Jacqueline got it first. Nice. Conventional is the correct answer to that. Good job, Jacqueline. Okay, so virtues of seller listing. So again, we kind of already went over this, but I'm going to actually call on people because I'm tired of being the only one talking here to read these off for us. So Anna, can you read off number 1 for us? Can you unmute and read off number 1? You have to unmute. Anna Soltani. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Which one you wanna I read?
Read number 1 here on the virtues of seller listings. Right here.
What is the term for increase the value of property due to economic factors?
No, this one that I have on the screen here, virtues of seller listings.
I cannot see that. Oh, number 1, seller listing means marketing opportunities.
Excellent. Rosa, can you read number 2? Rosa Santiago.
You have more control of your time.
Exactly, you do. You get to choose when you're marketing the property. Number 3, Alice, can you do that one?
Seller listing maximize your per hour compensation.
Excellent. Thank you, Alice. Elizabeth, can you do number 4 for us?
Volume.
Excellent. And I think I missed you. Tilly, can you do number 5?
With seller listings, you are on the front end of pricing.
Right. And so front end of pricing means basically like you get to drive the market in some ways and how much homes are going to cost in a given area. And that gives you credibility within the community, right? Number 6, let's have Elizabeth. Would you do number 6 for us? Elizabeth Perez Yuma, Arizona.
I thought she already did that one.
Oh, number 6?
I did number 4, but I can read number 6 if you
Oh,
like.
so sorry.
Just read it.
Go for it.
Properly marked the seller's listing bring you more business.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, properly marketed seller listings bring you more business, as I said. All right, great. Okay. So basically this is the little circle of business as a real estate agent, right? Lead conversion, pre-listing, listing consultation, service and marketing, offers and negotiation, contract to close, post-close systems. And what we're going to talk about today primarily, you guys have already been talking about lead conversion. Today we're talking about the pre-listing preparation and the listing consultation. So that's the focus of what we're doing today in this session. Okay. Who has an aha at this point? Anyone? I have to be honest with you all. I'm not a huge fan of ahas. I always feel like I'm awkward with ahas, but if you have an aha, I'm going to give 15 seconds for someone to give an aha if they want to. 5, 4.
My aha is that you're funny.
Thank you. I actually, that means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Thanks. Trivia time, Mary Grace.
My aha is you work at a school before.
Oh, yes, I've worked in education. Okay, question. In real estate, what does REO mean? Oh, well done, David Miwe. You win. Real estate owned. Very nice. That was fast. I'm impressed. Okay, get the appointment. So how do you get the appointment? Please type your answers in the chat. What are your ideas? How are you going to get an appointment? Call and chit chat. Love it. Keep on making phone calls. Mofer, calling. Calling. Ask for at least 5 times. Good. Keep following up. Good. Belly to belly. Love it. Anyone else? I'm going to take one more. Talking to the community. Great. Okay. Yes. All of those are ways to get appointments. Love them. Here's how they, in the very formal Keller Williams segment of things, like for you to get your listing appointments. So, and this is so important, I will say, actually, I would like to call out Dan Cornu, who's my business partner. He's on the call here. And Dan, is it true that I harp on responding right away? Am I like a huge advocate of responding right away?
Absolutely. Right away is important.
Yeah, I'm
Super
like,
important.
for me, if anything, I'm like a little geeky about this. Like my phone is around all the time, and I am known as being like insanely responsive. And I've become that way because I have found that it works. Like you never want to be the person who takes 2 or 3 hours to get back to someone, and they already called 5 other realtors in the interim. So
Kate,
what
Kate
I
will
can
text
preach to you, I'm sorry.
while she's on the phone talking to someone, she'll text back to you. That's how responsive she is.
This is true. This is true. So respond right away. I would recommend like holding your phone with you at all times. Like I have my phone on. The only time of the day that my phone is not on me and turned on, honestly, is when I'm in yoga class. Other than that, my phone is on me, and it may not, the ringer may not be turned on. And I will tell you that I tell my clients that when I am with them, I try to be present with them. But I tell clients that I will be back in touch with you within a half hour if you text me. And that's something that I really try and stick to. Number 2, get valid and complete contact information. Duh. But like I seriously have had people hold open houses at my listings and say, oh yeah, we had 15 people through. And I say, great, what are the contacts? And they say, oh, I didn't get any. Oh my gosh, don't be that person. Please don't be that person. If you hold an open house, get people's name, phone number, and email address at the very least. How do you do that?
With the command.
So I hear Jacqueline says, have a sign-in book. Sorry, but wrong. Ask, kind of. My open house form. Sorry, I know I'm giving you guys like everyone's eyes are getting big. Like I'm not going to answer no. She's going to me. Okay, so this is how you do it. You ask them for their name, their email address, and their phone number, and you write it down in your own handwriting. Because what they're going to do is they're going to write some sloppy ass beep, and you're not going to be able to read it. Okay, so that has happened to me on so many occasions in open houses that I don't let anyone else write down their name, phone number, and email address for me. I write it down myself. Okay, so whenever you get someone's information, you write down yourself, and then after you write it down yourself, what do? You read it back to them and you confirm it. So you make sure that what you wrote down is correct. And if you do that, people will see you as a professional, okay? Don't be scared to do that. If someone says, Oh, I'm not going to give you my name and contact information to walk. I just want to walk through the house. I don't want to, I'm already working with someone. I don't want to give you my information. You say these words. I am very sorry, but this is a private residence and we require for safety purposes and as the rules of my brokerage that we take down the name, phone number, and email address of every person who walks into this home. And if you don't want to do that, I totally understand, but I'm sorry, I won't be able to let you walk through if you don't. And if they don't want to walk through, they may walk away and God bless them. Wish them peace, love, and happiness on their way. Okay. It's okay if they don't want to walk through the house, if they don't want to give you their contact card. Maybe they're going to steal something. You don't know. Right. So get that information from everyone. Okay. Determine their motivation to sell so you can speak to it. Okay. If someone wants to sell their home, so this is how I walk into that conversation is, tell me a little bit about your previous experience selling homes. And they will tell you if they have ever sold a home. They will tell you what good experiences and bad experiences they may have had, or you can ask that question like, what good experiences and bad experiences have you had in selling homes? Like, how has it gone for you? What went really well? What did you hate? If you wanted to have the perfect experience in selling your home, what would that look like? And where are you going to go next? You're selling your home. Like, where are you going to go next? Where are you going to go after we get your home sold? So determining motivation for why they're going to sell and also their past experiences with realtors is super important to being able to provide a really effective listing presentation. Set an appointment, pick a time and date for as soon as possible, and send a pre-listing packet. Okay, set an appointment. Yes, time and date, yes. What I will say is ask them if they're interviewing any other realtors. And if they're interviewing anyone else, ask them, are you going to consider hiring the first person who you interview? Or will you make sure to give me a chance? Okay, because I have had people interview me as the second person and call me after the first person and cancel my interview. Okay, some people say, oh, I always want to be the last. And some people, they say they always want to be the first. And what I would say is, just ask them that question. Would you consider hiring the very first person you meet with if they're really good? And if they say yes, make sure you're the first person. But if they say, no, I'm going to interview all three people and then I'll make my decision at the end, then by all means, ask to be the last person. Okay, so when you're scheduling that, as soon as possible is like, it's a fuzzy line in my mind. Okay, so consider those things. All right, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. So what sellers are looking for from their agents? I'm going to call on some people. Cuccelli, can you read this graph for us? Did I say your name right?
Yes, we did.
Oh, awesome.
Help price home competitively.
How many people want that? So Cuccelli, about how many people want you to help them price the home competitively?
Based on the chart, it is, I don't know, maybe I'm colorblind. It's like 3 oranges. Which one is it?
It's the 21%.
21%, okay.
Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, so that's a really important thing, right? That's probably the most important thing that people say. Okay, how about Katie Davis? What's the next one?
Help seller market home to potential buyers.
Yeah, correct. That is what it says. I know it's kind of weird the way that they set that up, but yes, help seller market a home to potential buyers. So that's another thing that people say. And what's percentage of people are looking for that in their agent?
20%.
Exactly. And Jacqueline, did I call on you yet?
No, not yet.
How about the yellow one?
Help sell the home within a specific time frame in 16%.
Yeah, exactly. So those are, and then Tilly, can you do the final orangey one that's a different color orange than the 21%?
Help sellers find ways to fix up home to more.
Yeah, to sell it for more. Good. Okay, so basically when you go into your listing presentation, these are the things that you should keep in mind, like the front of your mind. These are the things that most people, when you ask them this question, are looking for in a realtor. Help market the home to potential buyers, help sell the home within a specific time frame, help find ways to fix up the home and sell it for more. But most importantly, help price the home competitively. Okay, so those are really like the top 4 things. If you need to, take a screenshot of that and never forget it. Grace, is Roland's joined the Zoom? Oh, good. We have a guest speaker, everyone. It's so exciting. His name is Roland Bennett. And Roland is a mortgage broker who I've worked with for a super long time. He is so sharp, and he is licensed in almost every state in the United States. And he's just going to give us some great tips on mortgage industry. Are you there, Roland? Has Roland joined the room? Roland, are you, oh, there you are, Roland. Roland, you're muted, and we need your camera.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you going to show us your camera, or do we just get to see a black?
Yeah, no, let's see. Let's do it. I don't know. It says video on.
But I
Stop.
can't see
No.
you.
This is weird.
I see your name now. Maybe it's just being slow. Roland is such a player that he's like up working on his cabin up north. He's like not even suffering through the Phoenix heat with us right now.
You know, it might be on my phone. Let me just grab my phone real quick.
Okay.
That might be the deal. Hold on.
He's
1
probably in the
second.
car driving up north because it's too hot in the south.
No, he's actually working on one of his rental properties up there. He's remodeling.
Nice.
He's remodeling. So thanks for your patience, guys.
All right. Here we go. I saw a button on my phone that said to do the switch over to the, I really don't know why the video is not working. I apologize. I'm going to continue to I'll get going and try to get the video on here as soon as I can, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's
But,
fine. I might share a picture of you so everyone can see you.
Yeah, it's really strange because it shows that you know, the video's going, but
All right, I'm gonna show a picture of you to everyone just so everyone knows what Roland Bennett looks like, and then we know go from there. Here's Roland. Okay. Go ahead, Roland. You're cool. Go.
All right, I think I might have fixed it. Here we go. Got it.
All right.
Well,
sweet.
hi everybody. This is what a fun thing. I love your title to it. What was it? Pacific Time what was the title?
Win with sellers?
No, the title to this group that you had.
Ignite After Dark.
Ignite After Dark. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I thought it would be beneficial to give some really important stuff that I think sellers should know. And do you guys hear that super annoying dog out in the field? I thought this would be a nice thing. Okay. So I thought it would be really cool to give you guys some information on automated underwriting systems with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, because those are what is the most important thing when you have a finance deal. So I thought I would do that. And I'm just going to go to the other side of the house while I do this. Maybe I'll just walk around. I'm going to get my my tool out of the car that I can make those dogs be real quiet real fast. No, I'm teasing. That's a joke. That's a joke. So I wanted to let you guys know, I am a mortgage broker. There's 3 different avenues that a buyer, if they submit a financed offer, there's 3 avenues that they're going to get a loan from. They can either go to like a savings bank, like a Chase or Wells Fargo. They can go to a mortgage broker. They can go to a mortgage banker. Your bankers are like your Fairway home, Fairway independent mortgage and your VIP and prime lending and those types of people. And mortgage bankers can be really good because they can be quick. They're just expensive. You're going to have higher fees, higher rates. Mortgage brokers, which is why I went back to that platform about 5 years ago, is currently right now the system is set up to be the absolute fastest, and then also being able to provide lowest cost, lowest rate. So that's no matter how much education you can give the buyer, it really comes down to what's my rate and what are the costs. That's what I found, is that nobody cares about how smart you are or how long you've been in the business or how much you're helping or how much you can fix the credit. It all comes down to rates and fees for buyers, period. Just like when we all buy houses, we want the lowest rate, lowest fees when we do that. So that's why I'm a broker. But since this is a seller focused podcast or Zoom meeting that you guys are doing, I know that listing agents, when you're selling a house, one of the most disfavorite part of your job is when you receive the offers and you got to chase down those lenders on the prequal, right? And make sure that the prequal that they submitted are, accurate and that they're good. So I wanted to arm you guys with some questions that you can ask when you get a hold of the loan officer of the borrower that you feel like you're going to go with on that prequal, because anybody can fill out a prequal. I can have a conversation on the phone, and somebody tells me what they make, what they think their credit score is, and they're pre-qualified. But having an automated underwriting system approval run is really the most important part. So I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, but most buyers are not familiar with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. That's the first thing I always ask people. Have you ever heard of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? And they say, who are they? And then I let them know that they're the king and queen of all things mortgages in our country, the god and goddess of everything loans in our country. And they each have what's called an automated underwriting system. And the acronym for that is AUS. In the mortgage world, everything's an acronym. So in real estate too, right? But the AUS is the automated underwriting system. That is the software that will be run from the underwriter when the loan gets submitted to underwriting, when they, go in to get approved. I have access. I run the same automated software that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac run. So if a loan is questionable at all, I will run the automated underwriting software to make sure that we have an approval. So if you feel like there's kind of a questionable buyer financing, you should ask, do you have automated underwriting or AUS? Would you mind sharing the AUS approval with me? So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have each their own, but they're very, very similar. So Fannie Mae's is called Desktop Underwriter, or DU is the acronym for that. And Freddie Mac's is called Loan Processor Assist, or LPA. So every conventional loan, and by the way, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are such the king and queen in the country for mortgages that even government insured loans that aren't conventional going to Fannie and Freddie, that are insured by the government, FHA and VA, those loans are also run through Fannie and Freddie's automated underwriting system. So there is no loan going to close for conventional FHA or VA if it doesn't have an automated underwriting system. So Fannie Mae's is DU, Freddie Mac's is LPA. Now, on the conventional world, they're all very similar, but as long as you have one of the approvals, then they're going to close your loan. They're going to approve your loan. I've had times where, I mean, 90% of the time, my borrowers, I get an approval with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. But sometimes Freddie won't approve it, Fannie will approve it, or vice versa. And there's little differences too. Like, for example, if on Freddie Mac, they only require 1 month of bank statements, and Fannie Mae requires 2 months of bank statements, typically all the time. So when you run the automated underwriting approval, that approval approves the loan, and it also gives a list of conditions that they're going to have. So a good loan officer in your state where they're sending a pre-qual, you say, did you run an AUS? They'll say, yeah. So if they ran that, then they should know what the conditions are. And what that's going to prevent is, the guy that calls you with a week and a half left to close, and there's all of a sudden issues with the loan, and the realtor's not really sure, but they heard from the loan officer that something didn't go through underwriting, and something about debt to income ratio, and something about this. Well, what happens in those situations is the guy that's doing the loan, or the gal doing the loan, they didn't necessarily jump into the details and run the automated underwriting system with the fine-tooth comb details that the underwriter is going to run it for. So if you've got a buyer that's coming back to you and saying, well, we might need an extension because I have to get another borrower because something came up in underwriting. Well, what came up in underwriting? Well, there was a large deposit back in April of $20,000, and I can't really document it, and they're not letting me use it. They've had all the paperwork. They should know these hurdles before they run into them 2 weeks before closing. But it still happens out there. However, there are certain document depository, large deposits have to be documented. So let's say somebody got a gift fund or a sum of money from somewhere they didn't want to show where it was from. Well, if we're right now in June, so if that deposit was in April, and the lender that's doing the loan has a DU approval, Fannie Mae, they've got to show May and April bank statements. If I run it through Freddie Mac, I only have to show last month's May bank statements, and then nobody sees the deposit in April. Some lenders out there only use Fannie Mae. Some only use Freddie Mac. So, to be able to kind of toggle back and forth from each is huge. One thing about the automated underwriting software is that it will not approve any loan if it's 50% debt to income ratio or higher, period. There's no, it's not subjective at all. It is black and white. It is, pass or fail. If you're 50.001%, you're not going to get an approval through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac's automated underwriting approval system, the AUS, for conventional. 56.999 is the highest for FHA. So if somebody comes to you and says, the buyer on your sale, oh, sorry, this happens a lot, but we've got a debt to income ratio issue, kind of last minute, and you'll ask, well, what's your debt to income ratio? And if it's well above 50%, it was just poorly qualified in the beginning. It shouldn't. But if it's like a 50.01, I can manipulate that automated underwriting system, pay off a $15 a month, piddly dink little city credit card to get the automated system to approve the loan. I've had loans where I've called the homeowners insurance company to get them to drop their annual premium by $6 a year, so that I could drop the payment by 50 cents, so that I could get to a 49.999 debt to income ratio to get the Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac approval for debt to income ratio. So it is all about the automated underwriting system, the AUS approval. And if you ask a lender, hey, do you have the AUS approval on this? and they say no, I would follow up with, do you have any concerns about getting an AUS approval? And if they say no, the last question I would ask, just to make sure these buyers are solid, is are there any income or credit guidelines that you're going to be needing an exception on? And that might be a red flag on that lender. I'm just trying to think of things to give you guys some more questions other than the, regular old, hey, I got your pre-qual. Is everything good to go? Yep, everything's good to go. Great, thanks. That's all I needed. Maybe we'll work with you, but because there's guys out there that do what I do that, they do the work later in the file when things go wrong. That's not what I do. I do all the work up front before anything can go wrong, so that I know 100% when I send that pre-approval out, it is a AUS approval. It's a done deal. I've thought of every single hurdle, every single pothole, every speed bump that we could come up, against. If it's a commission income, everything that's killed a deal or caused issues, you got to proactively look for. And that's what I look for to make sure I'm going to get that AUS approval to give my buying agent. So I know you told me 10 minutes, Kate. That's but
here's what I will say. Hey, everyone. Roland can do deals in almost every state in the United States. He's a total bad bleep. And so, if you would like Roland's information, you can just maybe type Roland or send me a message that says Roland, and then we'll put you on a list and we'll get that information to you. So I'm typing my email in here to the chat right now to everyone. And if you want Roland's information, just, shoot me an email and I'm happy to share it with you. So thanks so much for Roland. I appreciate you.
Bet.
I'm so jealous that you're up in Pine Top. You have no idea. I'm so jealous.
I don't know if you'd be jealous about the drywall mudding I'm doing right now.
You have fun with that by yourself.
I know now why no handyman or contractor in the country, everybody hates drywall, and I'm getting a firsthand acknowledgement about why that is. I'm like, drywall, it sounds so easy. Oh my gosh. I don't mind flooring, but.
All right, cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Peace out.
Hey, Dan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Back to the scheduled programming. All right. So this is where we are. We're on what sellers want from their agent. And hope you guys found that useful. I think Roland's pretty awesome, and I think you will too if you decide to use them. So yeah, you want build confidence and trust. Obviously, is the bottom line with the sellers. And how do you build confidence and trust? How do you do that? I'm asking a question, so I hope you'll answer. So you can win a prize, maybe.
Being genuine.
Okay, yeah, being genuine is so huge. Yeah, just being authentic does build trust for sure. Know what you're talking about is another one. Love it, Cindy. I'm gonna look for 5 answers. That's 5.
I like to use my spear. So, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I like to just remind family and friends that they know me, they know I'm not going to screw them over, and that they can trust me with everything they need, just to kind of like build that confidence up with them if they ever needed to use me.
That's good. Yeah, that's a great way to build confidence. I love it. I also love be relatable. Good. Do what you say you're going to do. Yeah, follow through. Absolutely. Listen to what you're looking for and the motivations, repetition, be available, be knowledgeable, all those things. Yeah, great
Be
answers.
and responsible. Be honest and responsible.
Yeah, be honest and responsible. Absolutely. And also, I will say, one of the main things I find that builds confidence and trust in new people who are outside your sphere is just showing up prepared like a professional. And what that looks like is showing up with a presentation that is tailored to that particular client, showing up with a clean car, showing up wearing professional clothing, showing up 5 minutes early for the appointment, not one single minute late, but 5 minutes early. And this is like, listen up, wait for it. I'm going to give you a trick here. Show up with a gift. I never, ever, ever show up for a listing appointment without a small gift for the homeowners. I think it's just good manners if you're going to go to someone's house. If you go to someone's house for dinner, you bring a bottle of wine, you bring something. Typically what I bring is like a little potted plant. Trader Joe's has some great ones if you're in a big city, or just like another thing that I've brought are cookies, but I bring just a small gift for them. I think that also builds some confidence and trust, and they recognize that, like, hey, this person, I haven't even given them any business yet, and already they're giving me gifts. That's a good way to build confidence and trust also. Trivia time. What do you have for us, Grace? Which real estate term refers to the legal process by which a lender takes possession of a property from the borrower? Oh my gosh, that was so fast. You guys are fast. Jacqueline, woo, foreclosure. Good job. All right, next, get the appointment. So converting your A sellers. I'm going to have some people read through this. Okay, Sharon, can you read the first one? Sharon Nunes.
Respond right away to lead inquiries.
Yes, thank you. Addison, number 2. I feel like we already did this one, but now we'll keep going. Go ahead. Addison, you want to do number 2? Addison Alonso. How about Lorena Kelly? You want to do number 2? Lorena, are you there? How about Ryan Mason? You want to do number 2?
Get valid and complete contact information, save it to command, and create an opportunity.
100%. Yep, absolutely. Number 3, Ryan, you want to do that one? Ryan Mason? How about Nicole Clemens? Can you unmute and do that, number 3?
Determine their motivation to sell so you can speak to it.
Excellent. And number 4, Larisha? You want to unmute? Or is it Larisha Watts?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. What number again?
Number 4.
Set an appointment time and date for as soon as possible and send pre-listing packets.
Okay, I feel like we already did this part. I don't know why it went backward on me. Yeah, we already did that. The comment, sorry, I'm sorry it went backward on us. Okay, 7, close to appointment tactics. Okay, let's do these. Kathy Handel, can you start with the first one?
Sure. Show the benefits.
Good. Larisha, I'm gonna have you do number 2.
At close.
Take back the close. And I honestly don't even know what that means. Does anyone else know what take back close means? Ideas? I don't know. I literally don't even know what they mean by that. Number 3, Christina, negative positive close. Do you know what that means, Christina? I'm going to tell you guys, I don't necessarily know what these tactics mean, and they didn't give me a guide to these. So we're going to just kind of skip through these. Number 4, tell them what they're looking for. That is true. That's why I ask the questions about why they're going to sell and what their previous experiences are with real estate, so that I can respond to their specific needs and what's important to them. I give them what they're looking for. Trial close and assumptive close and tie downs, I literally don't even know what any of those things are. So I apologize, but
Hey, Kate,
yeah,
this is Roland again. I thought I'd jump in.
yeah.
A couple of these are actually, I like a few of these closing tactics.
Oh, good. Well, then I want you to jump in. Tell me about them, Roland, because
Yeah,
I literally don't even know.
The negative positive is kind of like what, I mean, years ago was called the Harmon flip.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
In the subprime world, you know, when it was all like back in 04, 05 and it was subprime refis, there was a tactic called Harmon flip. And so you would pull the credit of this borrower, and we're calling subprime people, right? And to do cash out, debt consolidation, refinances to save them money. And then what you do is you lead with the negative. They have a need, and then you lead with the negative as far as going over their credit report, and talking about all the negative things on the credit report, and you're just hammering them down. So it's kind of like if you're walking through a listing appointment, you would start with like all of the stuff, like things that are not going to go well in the inspection. And then you make them feel, well, you don't make them feel, but the client then, you know, comes into this place of feeling like maybe their house is inadequate, they won't be able to sell. But then you flip it to positive and tell them all the positive things and say, you know what, though, in the market right now, buyers aren't even looking at that kind of stuff. And then you like, so the negative positive, it's kind of a, it's a, you know, tactical little thing, but the take back close is like the takeaway close. You know, you would give them maybe talk about what they could, you know, like a price that they could get, and then ask them what they want. And, you know, you would then say, well, I don't know if we can get that, you know, I don't know if it's possible, but why don't I check into a couple of things and let me do some extensive research and see if we can get there. And then when you come back to them, then you say, great news. So you've taken away what they thought they could sell the house for, and then you come back with, got great news for you. I pulled some comps, and they don't have the, you know, nearly the upgrades that you have. One comp sold, you know, at 510, and it's kind of not a great lot, and you're in the cul-de-sac. I think that's going to be great. So it's kind of like that. The tie down, number 7 tie down is that's pretty aggressive, to be you know, to be honest with you, to tie them down. The assumptive close, I love the assumptive close. I assumptively close every time I'm on the phone with a borrower. I never let that, I don't remember in 20 years when I've asked, would you like me to do your loan for you? I know that when I'm talking to them, they need the financing, and I'm already their guy doing it. And so I would add in the assumptive close that when you go to listing appointments, assume you have the listing. Talk in confidence as if you're their advisor on what we need to do, and use the words we with the sellers, because then they're in their mind, they're going to be already partnering up with you, and they're going to love your style. You're going to get in there, and you don't walk around and say, well, maybe I'll see what I could sell the house for. Would you like to use me? You know, so I think the assumptive close is kind of like Glengarry Glen Ross, you know, ABC, always be closing. And it's just assuming you have the listing before you have the listing. If you're in their house talking about selling their house, they want to sell the house. You know, they're already closed. You don't have to close them. You're in there. You got it. So just assume that you're the agent and talk in that manner. And I think people they like that assertiveness. So
yeah, I do that all the time as well. I just didn't know it was called the assumptive close, but yes, agreed. And then what is the tie down, Roland?
you know, the tie down is kind of like, it's what it is. It happens a lot in, like when somebody has, maybe they're late on their payment, they're pre-foreclosure. You know, they need to sign today. We don't have any time. We should have, the only thing you should have done is started to look at selling this house 3 months ago before you went 2 months late on the mortgage. And so, you know, I'm not sure. We're gonna, you know, I hope we can get close to ask. We're gonna have to be aggressive, but we're gonna have to get on the market today before they file a trustee sale, you know, and then they feel like they have to list right now. You know, that's, you're tying them down to an immediate action item.
Gotcha. All right. Hey, Roland, I'm glad you stayed on because I literally, yeah, they didn't provide me with any information about these and I have not studied them in the past. So thanks for being so valuable as we move through this. Okay, questions via objections. When a question is asked, answer it, obviously. I think a lot of people actually falter and stumble on this. A lot of people will hear a question and they go off in another direction and give a lot of information other than the answer to the question that was actually asked. And that can be frustrating if you're the person answering or asking the question rather. So if someone asks you a question, I try and answer it pretty directly and thoroughly and not beat around the bush. And likewise with an objection, you know, if someone has an objection, I don't ignore their objection. I speak to it. And so again, I, you know, don't, if someone says, for example, well, you know, my sister's brother's cousin is also a realtor and I was thinking about working with them. Don't just say, okay, and then move on to the next step in your presentation. Say, oh, your sister's cousin's brother is a realtor. Tell me a little bit more about that. Have you met this person? Are you planning to meet this person? Do you know if they're a full-time agent? Do you know how long they've been in the industry? Do you know which brokerage they're at? Oh, I could look that person up and let you know how many sales that person's done in the past year. So I would say, you know, that's just one example of an objection that might come up that you could just address head on as opposed to ignoring it and moving forward. Ahas. Who has an aha? Let's get 5 ahas.
I have a question.
Yes.
Basically on the comment you just said, if they have someone that they're thinking of working with and you're going to ask those questions, what would you do if you're a brand new agent? Wouldn't you not want to ask those questions because you most likely don't have any sales and all those?
Ask what questions? But you're answering a question that they're like, I guess,
so
could you clarify? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So basically you're saying, okay, you have a cousin, sister's brother who's an agent. How many years have they been doing this? How many sales have they done? Why, as a new agent, would I want to ask those questions? Because then if she asked me, like, well, how many have you done? And turn the questions around on me, then it looks bad because I most likely don't have as much experience.
Potentially, or, you know, if you don't have as much experience personally, one thing that one of the more seasoned agents had told me with regard to that question when I first started, and I did use this, is I would pull the numbers from my market center. And rather than speak to my own personal numbers, I would say, well, my team has closed this many listings in the past month. Or my team, and they would say, oh, you're part of a team? And I'd say, oh, yes, I'm part of the team at Keller Williams Realty Sonoran Living. And this is how many my team have done. And, you know, I work with the, you know, some of the top agents in the, you know, in the Phoenix area. And yeah, I'm really confident that we can sell your home. But I understand what you're saying about the years of experience and that sort of thing. I mean, you're right that it does depend to some extent. Are you a full-time agent? But I think at least asking the question, like, you know, how do you know this person? Are you planning to interview this person? To get a little bit more information does help you out, as opposed to just glossing over objections like that. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
thanks.
And you can kind of make it a joke. If somebody asks you, you be, well, how many years do you think?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can. Yes.
And then they won't say, so you'll move on.
Jacqueline, did you have a question?
Yeah, I want to kind of piggyback on that. I'm sure every market center is probably a little different, but where can we find those stats monthly? Like, would it be somewhere in Command or?
In Arizona, you can actually find that information on the multiple listing service. So in Arizona, you can go under listing selling member in the additional fields on the MLS, and you can click on that, or you can go on listing selling office. And if you look under the listing selling office, it will say all of the closings at your brokerage in a specified time period.
All right, well, I'm gonna look, see if we have that here in San Diego. Thank you.
And you can even ask, you know, if you ask your broker or one of the experienced agents at your brokerage, I'm sure they can help you to find that information.
Oh, thank you.
Any other ahas or questions?
I have an objection.
Okay.
As in number 4, where it says offer a solution. The aha suggestion is when they say, I would, but I'm still not sure. It says continue to ask questions. And I understand how you feel. In other words, dig into the real issue of the problem. And go back to page 114.3, and out of the 7 close, that would better help you to understand how to address and dig in.
Sure. And one tactic that works really well in that situation is to just literally, it's so simple, but literally repeat back what someone else said, but in a questioning tone of voice. So if someone says, I'm still not sure, you can say, you're still not sure, then silence and let them talk more. And if they say, I'm still not sure what my timing is, then you say, you're still not sure what your timing is. And if you repeat back what they say in a questioning tone of voice, most people will provide additional information for you and help you through that process without you having to kind of feel your way into what question you should ask.
Okay, I do agree with that, but I do understand that some people don't want you to give them a subliminary kind of response. In other words, don't say what I say, but they can appreciate, I understand how you feel.
Yeah, sure.
Because depending on what they're talking about, you know,
Sure.
so I guess between the two, I guess you can interchange.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, trivia time. Grace, do you have some trivia for us? In real estate, what does CMA stand for?
Certified Market
Oh,
Analysis.
David, so fast. Comparative market analysis. Great. And when you do a comparative market analysis, in Arizona, we have some additional information that we can gather in some other ways, both through the Cromford report and also through Realtor Property Resource, RPR. I would say, you know, make sure that you gather information from Zillow, as well as the information that you gather on the multiple listing service, and as many other sources as you can find. Okay, pre-listing packet. Okay, so we're just going to move on a little because we're kind of running short on time here. Pre-listing packet takes you from entrepreneur to, what's the P? You can get an idea of what the P is. Purpose is P. Okay, so the Pre-listing packet takes you from the entrepreneur role into a purposeful role. So the pre-listing packet goals are to, one, pre-sell, so build the seller's confidence, answer their questions and objections before your presentation. 2, save time, makes the consultation experience smoother and shorter. And 3, state your value, tell the seller what you will bring. Pre-listing packet criteria. Will you review it in your listing presentation? Does it eliminate the need for a listing consultation? Is it a primer for education that you'll provide in listing consultation? So the pre-listing packet, what does it include? Does it not say here in this? I have a different place. They give me all this stuff in Ignite, and some of it, I'm sorry. I thought that it was going to show us. Oh, here we go. Here's the pre-listing packet. I'm going to show you a different page where it actually shows what they recommend in the pre-listing packet. Here it is. These items should be in your pre-listing packet. A cover page, your contact information, a promise that you're going to make to the seller, a selling process overview, general pricing information, a value proposition, your broker office and or personal metrics, client testimonials, examples of previous listings, and any ancillary services that you might want them to be aware of, like Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered, Keller Offers, your favorite mortgage brokers information, your favorite title agents information, and that would all be relevant information for you to include. So we're going to go back to the other ones. Sorry. Any questions about the pre-listing packet and what should be included, or suggestions of other things that you might think you could include in a pre-listing packet? No? Okay, so a seller consultation preparation checklist. So you're going to have your pre-listing packet delivered. Ideally, you can deliver it, but what I have done typically is found a high school or college student to drop it off at someone's door to make sure it actually arrives there. And I find that it's less awkward if someone else, obviously you want them to be clean and well-dressed and whatever, but if someone else drops it off at their door prior to you meeting this person the first time. Make sure, obviously, before you meet with someone that you confirm the appointment, date, time, and location. I do that in a number of ways. I send an email, I send a text, and I send a Google Calendar invite to make sure that there's no question about when I'm meeting the person. And then I send them a reminder a couple of hours in advance of our program, of our appointment as well. It's always important that you ensure that all decision makers attend. And that's a question you should ask when you have that original conversation with a seller on the telephone. Make sure that you're not just speaking with one of the owners of the home, and you might actually look up in the county records who owns the home. And so you know exactly who will need to be there. And then you can also ask the person who you speak with on the phone who the other decision makers might be, and make sure that they're all in attendance so that you don't end up making a presentation that you end up having to make a second time. It's a waste of your time and everyone else's if not everyone is there. Make sure that you complete and practice your listing presentation. So the listing presentation is actually in the Keller Williams forms, and I'm going to actually copy and paste it into the comments right now so that you can, there it is, create your own listing presentation. I will tell you that you should do it now before you have the listing. And this is an all-day task, probably. This is probably going to take you 6 to 8 hours to go through this listing presentation and to make it, as someone else has said, authentic so that people trust you. So it shouldn't be the canned Keller Williams listing presentation that you present at your very first listing presentation. You should have something that's a little bit more authentic and specific to who you are as a person. So I recommend that this is your primary task for tomorrow as a new agent, is to go through this listing presentation and make it your own. Also, make sure before you meet with someone that you review the lead sheet or their command contact notes, so that you know exactly that you're kind of reviewing what you know about this person. Also, I recommend, it's a really great idea to Google people, to look on their Facebook page, to look on their LinkedIn page, so that you know a little bit about this person and have something to chat about, so they know that they are important to you and you've gone out of your way to learn a little bit about them before you just walk into their home. So I find that those are helpful things to do prior to going to a listing presentation. And as I said before, make sure that you arrive in a professional manner with a clean car, professional clothing. Don't wear your flip-flops, don't show up in shorts. Make the real estate industry proud when you show up, please. Trivia, Grace? What's the name of the document that outlines the specific terms and conditions under which a property is being offered for sale? The listing agreement, exclusive right to sell. Great job. Love it. I think both Brian and Jacqueline get points for that one, because those were two answers and one more specific than the other, but both quick. Ahas at this point. Please, someone give me an aha so I'm not just talking to myself. Just 2 or 3 ahas. Please, 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 please.
Well, I like the that you sent us that link to the command template for the listing presentation, and to get that going before you start trying to get listing appointments, because I haven't gone through that yet. So it maybe motivated me to go look at it more.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jacqueline.
It was very helpful to me because I've been working on one for a homework project with our coach for tomorrow. But I still have not finished.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
And it's very nice. And it's very nice you say have a gift for the first time you go to somebody's houses for a listing. That was nice too.
Thanks. Cool. All right. Moving on. The listing appointment itself. Okay. So you want to create a great impression, as we've said, build the seller's confidence in you as their real estate agent of choice. When you get there, you do want to share a price recommendation. So what I will say on the price recommendation, this is time to listen. Bing, 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 bing. Listen. Time to listen. Wait for it. Important information, everyone. Okay. On the price recommendation, I have learned that it is important to provide a range of pricing options for my clients, because as realtors, we are fiduciaries and our job is to obey. And it's a good idea to start obeying from the beginning of the process. Different people have different goals when they sell their home. And their goal, if their goal is to sell it for the most amount of money as quickly as possible, you're going to price it differently than if their goal is to just kind of see if they price it high, if they might maybe get an offer at that higher amount. And I have found through sad experience, only probably once or twice, but I have gone into listing appointments and I have offered a specific price that was lower than another agent's price. And even though it was, I believe, the right price to list the home at, that the person who told that seller the higher price got the listing. And I would rather have the listing and then have those hard conversations with the client after I have the listing, say like, okay, we can list it at, say, $1 million. But if we don't have any showings or we don't have any offers after the first week or the second week, we're going to have serious conversations about dropping the price and what the market's telling us. Okay. So it's better, in my opinion, to get the listing based on a range of prices than to offer your sometimes most authentic and honest opinion, especially if it might be on the low end. I'd rather get the listing. That's
Hey,
my
Katie,
personal opinion.
has it
Yes.
ever backfired?
What?
Has it ever backfired? That
No,
you know,
because if someone wants to price it high, then I always, from the beginning, say, okay, we can price it at that. And I want you to know that we're going to be having regular weekly conversations on what the market's telling us. And I do have those regular weekly conversations about what the market is telling us. So if you only got one showing last week and we've been on the market for 3 weeks and we've gotten no offers, the market is telling us that your property is priced too high. If you would like to get an offer on your property, if you're sick of me bothering you 3 times a week, 4 times a week about what I'm doing in marketing, and you would rather spend your time in a different way, then I recommend that you drop the price by $50,000 or whatever it might be. So I'm a pretty straightforward shooter with my clients once I have a listing agreement with them, and not in an unkind way, but just in a like, this is the data, this is what the market's telling us, and so this is what we need to do moving forward. And I can most often get my clients on board then. So, and I have sold every single listing that I've ever gotten. So, you know, I've never had, I had one that I sold it, but then well, if Roland's still on the line, it was actually one that I worked on with Roland together. I sold it, but then they had already they had decided to purchase a home and they chose to take it off the market and rent it instead. But I did find a buyer who was ready to purchase their home, but they decided to rent it instead. But I've never not sold a home that I've taken the listing on. So yeah, it works. Next, how this listing presentation meets sellers' wants and needs. Your needs, make sure you include this in your listing presentation. You know, ask your clients what they're looking for in a real estate agent. I guess it's just as simple as that. Questions. And listen to what they say and respond to it, I guess would be the other 2 things I would add to that. Okay. We've got 13 minutes. I think, let's see, we've got, you have 2 more opportunities after this for a trivia question. Grace, trivia time. What's the process of combining 2 or more adjacent lots into one larger lot called? Oh, this is kind of a tricky one. Grace, did they get it right? Merging? No. Bummer. Anyone else?
I know we got that early on in the study, but that was like way up in the first 4 or 5 chapters.
Grace, do you want to help him out? Give him a hint or something?
Cindy
got it a little bit.
No, it's
consolidation. There we go. Consolidation. Cindy got it. Great job, Cindy.
consolidation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's lot yeah.
Consolidation. Yep. Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good job, Cindy.
So, yeah.
All right. So this is your little affirmation for the day. Let's all say it together. Turn on your microphones, everyone. We'll do it in chorus. It'll be like school. Come on, Rosa, Dan, turn on your microphones. Come on, Jessica, Brian, Shakita, turn on your microphones. Christina, Sharon, Ryan. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I am
I am
knowledgeable,
knowledgeable,
caring,
Caring,
and the
and the
best
best
agent for
these
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 clients.
clients.
they will
Will
Appreciate my
expertise,
expertise
preparation
and
chose me to
choose me
represent
to
them
represent
as they
them
sell their
as they
home.
sell their home.
home.
Yes, so I would say print this out and read it until you get your first listing. It's worth it, honestly, to just keep it in mind that you are an expert and you are caring and you are knowledgeable and you can do this. I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me, as Stuart Smalley from Saturday Night Live used to say back in the day. Okay, so opportunities. Yes, please use Command and update your stages in Command in opportunities as you move through the listing process. It will help you because it will give you an idea when you get to your welcome page of how much money you might be able to make in the coming weeks and months. And that's a motivator for making those daily calls. So do it, update your Command opportunity phases. And then also as you get, further on in your business where you're working with other people on your team, then also everyone's on the same page as to where people are at in the process. The listing walkthrough. So this is a part where I actually disagree with what they say in the Command or what they say in the course. They say that you should do the listing walkthrough first. And I actually prefer to sit down with people. I prefer to just have a conversation, like a person to person conversation with them, rather than walk right into someone's house and say, can I walk around your house right away? I just find that that's a little awkward. And sometimes people will even offer it. They'll say, oh, do you want to walk through my home? And I have found that I have better success when I say, no, would it be okay if we just sat down and got to know one another first for just a minute? And literally just before you start talking about real estate, just talk to them like a person. So tell me about yourself. How long have you lived in this house? How long have you lived in the area? Where were you before that? Where did you grow up? Do you have family in the area? Get to know people as actual people before you're looking through their closet and seeing their bras and underwear falling out of their hamper. You know what I mean? It's just it's really much better, I promise you, to have a conversation with people before you walk through their house. Leave the walkthrough for the end once you already have rapport. And then the feedback that you offer, because they're going to ask you the second you do the walkthrough, they're going to say, what do you think? And if you have to do that before you've built any rapport, it puts you in a very awkward position. The rapport that you've built at the beginning of the conversation allows you to offer honest feedback after you do the walkthrough. So that's my professional advice. And I'm sorry, Gary Keller, that we are in disagreement on this one. I'm sure he probably does the listing walkthrough better than me, and that's why he's able to do it at the beginning. But I'm just telling you my personal experience. Okay, a handwritten thank you note. Yes. Handwritten thank you notes. Do these always and forever. Immediately after you meet with someone, send them a handwritten. Well, actually, I would recommend sending them a text, then the following day, sending them an email, and then the following day, sending them a handwritten thank you note in the mail. So I would do all three, because you want to over communicate when possible, and especially over communicate your gratitude. Grace, trivia time. What's the area of a building that's below ground level called? That's a good one. Basement. That was quick. Good job, Jacqueline. Any ahas? Come on, 1 or 2 ahas, please.
My is to do the listing walkthrough at the end, because I was always told and taught to do it in the very beginning and then sit down and have the whole conversation with them. So that's kind of a change in my mindset with that. So,
and as I said, I might be wrong because Gary Keller does not say that, but in my personal experience, just my experience. Anyone else?
I do like you stated that you do um the text, the email, and the handwritten note, given a personal touch.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really important to just over communicate, like all the time, over communicate more than you think you should, because people notice it and it builds their confidence in you as a professional. Okay, so I think we did it all, people. We did it. Okay, so at this point, has your thinking changed at all about the listing presentation and the whole listing process and pre-listing process?
Got to step up my game on the listening presentation because I kind of went through RPR and kind of pulled a lot of stuff from there. I didn't make it all pretty, maybe because it's a friend that's wants me to list, so I kind of jaded myself on that one.
I love that you said that it was a friend who wants you to list, because oftentimes those are the first couple of people who want you to list. And I will tell you, your friends will be the ones who will be most impressed if you are very professional with them. And they will be your biggest advocates if you are very professional with them. So for example, a friend of mine who lives catty corner across the street has been a huge advocate for me. He and his wife were not yet ready to make an investment. They invited me over to just chat with them about investments, and I came with the whole PowerPoint presentation and all the data and gave him really great information. And he said, "Oh my gosh, I totally didn't expect this. Like, we're not going to be ready for another year. This is amazing. Thank you so much." And he has since put me in touch with an attorney who is a divorce attorney who is giving me business, a financial planner who is amazing, who is also giving me business, and an estate attorney who is giving me business. So because he was impressed, being my friend, that I was so professional with him as his friend, he has now connected me with his professional connections. And so I would say your friends are the people who you want to be most professional with. Just
the caveat that can also cut both ways too. So I'm trying to be careful that I don't do that as well. But Instate was he wanted something, and I kind of gave him, even though using RPR, I gave him more than what he wanted, and he was actually happy with that. So
that's awesome. And I'm not saying that you didn't do enough, but just like some personal experience on working with friends, it sounds like you did a great job, Brian. And I would say on the listing presentation, again, like just spend the time, spend the 4 to 8 hours and get it done, because once you have it done, it's super easy to tweak it. Like, I've actually given $2 million listing presentations on a half-hour notice because I have the core listing presentation done. And that way it's pretty easy for me to put together something that's that I can just tweak to the needs of an individual client. So you'll feel so much more confident in the whole process once you go through the listing presentation and make it your own, I promise you. Okay. I know we're only like 2 minutes from the end. So Grace, I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna give it up to you. And I want you to do the Wheel of Fortune, where everyone gets the opportunity to win something. Are you there,
Okay.
Grace?
Yes.
Okay, are you gonna take over the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome.
Should we unmute or type?
Okay, so
there are 6 people who answered a lot, especially Jacqueline.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
So are you gonna spin it?
The first 2 are gonna get the saguaro art, right?
Mm-hmm. The
Okay.
saguaro art, the Arizona artwork.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is David. David, you can go ahead and type your address into, yay, David, we have a winner. David, send me a message with your address and we'll send you the Saguaro artwork. And I'm looking forward to being your referral partner. Okay, next one. Alex, congratulations. Excellent. Send me your address. I'm excited to be your referral partner and I'm excited to send you my Saguaro artwork. And last one, not last, but certainly not least, this is for a 1 hour session where I will talk to you about your business and do whatever I can to help you grow. It can't be Dan Cornu. He's already my business partner. It has to be someone else. Dan, I will talk with you any day, but one more time. Okay, Brian. Congratulations. We're gonna spend some time together, bro. So again, Brian, if you would send me or message me your email address and your phone number, we'll find a time to connect in the next week or two, and I will spend an hour with you talking to you about your business. Now, just because I'm doing this with Brian does not mean I am not here for all of you. So I think I already put I'm going to type to everyone right now my information. I know I gave you, let's see, to everyone. I want to type to everyone in the meeting. So this is me. I am Katie Conway. I'm with Keller Williams Realty Sonoran Living. My number is 480-226-0314. My email is kateconway@kw.com. And you are welcome to reach out to me. Like once you have been in one of my classes, I feel like you're my people. We're all at Keller Williams together. I want to help you. If you have a question, I will take your call. I pick up the phone, as Dan mentioned, you know, even if I'm on a phone call, I'll probably text you and let you know that I'll call you back in 20 minutes. But I want to work with you today, next week, next month, next year. So let's all keep in touch. I don't know where you're supposed to give me my feedback, but do they send you a feedback thing? They told me I'm supposed to get feedback from you, but anyone know
At
how
the
I'm supposed
end,
to
you
give
should
you a
have that
feedback thing?
QR code
There's a QR code?
at the end normally.
Or you have the link to the eval and you just give us your information like you just did.
Well,
QR.
Did you see a QR for the eval, Grace?
No.
Me neither. I don't think, I was just gonna see if this, you guys, no one gave me that. I don't know where it is.
David
Which
just
makes me
provided
sad,
it
because
for
I
you.
do want your evaluation.
Yeah,
I
David just
legitimately-
provided it for you on the chat.
What?
David just provided it.
Oh, thanks, David.
Sorry.
I appreciate it. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
no problem.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, if you guys would evaluate me and don't say anything about the fact that I like had to bleep my words, if you would, please. Just teasing. But anyway, so I really enjoyed spending this evening with you. I know it's 8:03, so I don't want to keep you guys any longer. But if you want to stay on and you have further individual questions to ask me, I'm here for you. And congratulations on getting your start in real estate. And I wish you the best of luck. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What was the name of this class? I can't remember.
Win with Sellers.
Winning the Sellers. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I gave you the credit for the right one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
I will, you too. So Grace, I feel like before we shut this, we should take down this information.
Okay,
That
I
are in the
just
chat,
removed.
especially like people's, we should like go through the chat and get this. information.
Yeah.
You did it. It was what it was,
You became very confident when you started talking after quite some time. You did a good job.
It's okay. It is what it is. I mean, like the one part, literally, they gave me no information about it. So I was like, I don't know what these mean. Like, I don't know. I'm glad Roland jumped in. That was great. So what else? Okay, so Cindy